Right now, a seemingly minor onboarding shortcut, something happening in IT and HR departments literally all over the world, could be leaving your company wide open to an absolute disaster. Welcome to this explainer, where we're going to dive into the hidden perils of onboarding passwords and look at exactly how you can secure your employee onboarding process. Real quick, before we jump in, please hit the like and subscribe buttons you see on your screen. It seriously helps us keep bringing you focused explainers just like this one. Okay, let's get to it. We're going to start with a pretty heavy question that our source material asks right out of the gate. Would you give a stranger the keys to your business? Now, obviously your immediate reaction is absolutely not, no way. But the crazy thing is, an easily missed password mistake during the onboarding process could be doing exactly that. You might literally be handing over the keys without even realizing it.
So what is this key we're talking about? Well, it's usually just the standard everyday first-day password. You know the one. It's a temporary all-in-one code assigned by IT teams during onboarding so new hires can instantly access their devices, platforms, all their accounts. And look, it totally makes sense why we do this. Getting a new hire up and running is a highly time-sensitive task. We want them working, not waiting.
But this sense of urgency creates what we call the onboarding illusion, especially in really fast-paced environments.
Which brings us to the core conflict of convenience versus security, and how we end up building a Trojan horse right inside our own networks.
It really is a classic clash between what we intend to do and the dangerous reality of what actually happens. The intention behind that all-in-one code? Totally pure. We want to save time, reduce bottlenecks, and just keep that onboarding flowing smoothly. But the reality? These passwords end up lingering way, way longer than intended. The hiring team or IT just forgets to disable them, or maybe they recycle the exact same code for the next batch of hires. So this handy little shortcut quietly morphs into a massive liability.
So what is the hidden fallout when these passwords stick around? Let's take a look.
It essentially builds into this terrifying cascade of 4 major consequences. Number 1, security vulnerabilities. These weak, lingering credentials give malicious actors an incredibly easy route right into your system. Number 2, operational slowdowns. When a bunch of people have unintended access, workflows get confused, and suddenly your IT team is spending all their time putting out fires. Number 3 is overcomplicated cleanup. I mean, trying to track down who accessed what with a 6-month-old shared password, it's an absolute auditing nightmare. And finally, number 4, all of this leads to eroded trust. To really put that last point into perspective, the source material poses a brutal scenario. Quote, imagine having to explain to clients or stakeholders that sensitive data became compromised due to something as basic as a leftover temporary password. Just think about that. Destroying the hard-earned trust of your clients just because someone forgot to delete a welcome123 password from last spring? It's a completely unforced error and, quite frankly, a total nightmare. Luckily, we don't have to wait for a disaster to strike. Let's shift gears to some strategies for risk reduction and building better defenses. The source text gives us a tactical playbook with 4 very clear, actionable steps you can take right now. Conduct audits, set limits, automate, and train. Let's break these down. Starting with strategy 1, conduct regular audits. You've really got to ask yourself, when was the last time your company actually sat down and reviewed its password policies? You need to check if default, overly simplistic, or reused passwords are still active in your system. Running an exhaustive audit is going to unearth some bad habits that you probably didn't even know existed within your own walls.
And the big takeaway here is just a harsh financial reality. Fixing these issues proactively is infinitely simpler and drastically cheaper than trying to recover from a data breach. Spending a little bit of time and resources on an audit today is so much better than footing the bill for massive crisis management tomorrow.
Okay, moving to strategy 2, set password limits. Temporary onboarding codes absolutely must be just that, temporary. You need to ensure these codes automatically expire after a very specific time frame, or even better, require the user to immediately change the password upon their very first login. If you do that, the credential essentially disarms itself, even if someone forgets about it later.
For strategy 3, we need to talk about automating password management. Look, we all know that asking people to juggle dozens of unique passwords is just a recipe for disaster. And let's be real, a sticky note slapped on a monitor isn't exactly enterprise-level security. You need to invest in a proper enterprise-grade password manager. These tools automatically generate and store complex codes, which totally takes human error out of the equation. And finally, strategy 4, Train your employees. Because honestly, the best tech in the world won't save you if your people aren't educated. You have to take the time on day one to teach your staff to avoid obvious patterns, steer clear of using personal identifiers like their dog's name, and make updating passwords just a completely normal, regular part of the job. So let's wrap this up by talking about securing the front door with modern credential management. All of this leaves us with one final and honestly pretty provocative question. Your new hire is ready for day one, but is your security? Seriously, don't wait for a massive data breach to force your hand. Take action today, lock that front door tight, and make sure your business is actually ready for its next hire. Thanks so much for joining me for this explainer, and I'll catch you in the next one.